Alright guys, so I'm on location here at the riding area, and I'm going to do some gearing changes today to see how we can affect the power on this thing, hopefully in a positive way. I'm looking for a little bit more top speed so that I can get over jumps that require me to hit about 50 miles an hour to get over. The bike gets there really quick, so I think that with the acceleration out of the corners I can get over these jumps no problem, but I'm gonna try and gear this thing up a little bit and see that if I can ride it in map 3 with as much control as I do map 2. I'm looking to see that if I can race this thing in map 3 and get a little bit more top speed out of it, but still have the real nice control because of the tall gearing for corners and stuff. It's hard as hell to film because everybody's pit riding, but I got the stock sprocket off, and it has a little chain guide that sits above it, 2 bolts there, and it looks like the bolt is the swing arm for the back, but it's just a hook, and it hooks around a little part of the frame back there. I can't show you, and it's too loud anyway, so really easy to take off. So here are the sprockets themselves. Use just the standard KTM countershaft sprocket, 292. The stock one is 11 tooth. It is marked. There's a little 11 there in the screen, and I just sharpie my sprockets so I know which ones are which. And this is a 12, so you can see it's a significantly larger diameter, but it's only 1 tooth. So just to show you that it clearances correctly, there's the stock one in place. It does have this little spacer behind it. And then here's the 12 tooth. So there's the 12 tooth fitted in place. You can see it clears the chain guide, and it's all good, and we just gotta tighten her back up. Okay, it's all buttoned back up, and got the chain adjusted, so we're ready to do some testing. Okay, I've got the sprocket installed, and I'm gonna do some hot laps, and we'll start in map 2 first. Okay, map 2 ready to go. Track's really silty and slippery today, so map 2 will work really good. Deep breath. Staying out of the deep, fluffy ruts. Yeah, that second gear roll on is really nice. Second nap, rather. These are really slick conditions. Oh, blew that one. Still got pretty good acceleration. It's very controlled. I'm pretty much rolling it to the stop out of these corners. It'll still break traction on the hard flat stuff a little bit. So it's still pulling pretty good. Alright, so far the 12 tooth is a success on really slippery tracks, which my local motocross track is. Let's hit map 3 there. Hopefully the camera's adjusted correctly. Let that dust settle a little bit. Map 3 doesn't have the same wheel spin. Definitely putting the power to the ground though. Yeah, this one you can't just rock the throttle out of the corner, it will spin. Yep, map 3. It's definitely like riding a gas bike in the proper gear all the time. Can't ride this bike a gear high, right? There's no gears. So I would say if you were super fresh and having an on day, like map 3 is pretty sick. But if you're a little tired, maybe you were racing a 30-minute moto or something, you could definitely have a lot more control in that too. So I'll tell you right now, everybody bashing on the left-hand rear brake, you guys just don't understand. Let's say very good age group, whatever, A-class enduro riders and recreational enduro riders run a left-hand rear brake. It makes sense. You get on a hill climb, sliding backwards, you hit the left-hand rear brake while you're off the side of the bike, and the bike doesn't slide down the hill. Where it's really advantageous on something like this, or on a track like this, the only problem I have with it is my left hand doesn't work very well, which is why I run a recluse on my 250. It fatigues very quickly. But this left-hand rear brake, in a situation like that where I was just going through that corner, what you guys can't see in the camera, you can't see any of the bumps, and you can't see that the whole track is full of this stuff. It just rolls underneath your tires. It's littered with that stuff. And it's hard pan with silt on top. Coming around those corners, you can be on the gas and you can slip this left hand, well, I guess it's not slipping. You can apply the left hand rear brake a little bit and keep it from breaking traction, just like you would with the brake pedal on the bottom. But it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter which direction you're turning, because if you were turning this way, you were turning right, your right foot would be off the peg. But now, if I'm turning right, I can just slip it on the handlebar, or not slip it, but apply it on the handlebar with my left hand. So it's really useful and stuff like that for keeping traction. So don't bag on the left-hand rear brake until you've tried one. And if you have a healthy left hand, there's no reason why it's not awesome. It's just different. Like, I have a motorcycle background, not a mountain bike background. I've ridden bikes for the last bunch of years, but they're backwards from motorcycles. It works, all right? It works. There is an adaptation to it. Like, look at this corner that I was just ripping through. See all these big rocks? That's my hand. This is a 2 extra large glove. You can see those things are just littered all in this corner. And, you know, you just break traction and it's all good, man. All good. You just hold this thing just like you'd be slipping a clutch or something. So for now, I'm going to continue riding in map 2. It looks like we just hit the last green bar. I'm at 9 miles. I did a whole bunch of starts. Timed starts, just wide open throttle on this thing, so be the same as a gas bike on the main jet. We've got 9.4 miles and 43 minutes of riding. And if you look down here, the last one means we have 50 to 30% left. So we're at 50% on the battery. I've been pinning this thing wide open, map 2 and map 3. We've went 43 minutes and 9.4 miles, I believe. So there you go, 20-mile range and an hour and 25 minutes if I kept it up to what I'm doing right now. Map 2 is just real smooth, so what that allows me to do is focus on my body position. I don't have a problem with twisting throttles, I don't have a problem with clutching. I have a problem with being in the correct body position in corners. So I do film myself quite a bit, and I try and focus on something every time I go riding. And so it's really been body position. Me focusing on my body position has changed a lot of things in my setup. I rolled my bars back a little bit. I don't run them as far forward as I used to, because I used to stand up a lot because I was lazy and,
you know, I was curving my back and things. So now that I'm riding in a more aggressive position, I'm changing my bars and things like that around. And so it's almost an evolution every single time I ride. I'm sorry for everybody that's been affected by this coronavirus. I'm currently unemployed myself, and people who have gotten sick and all these sorts of things. But the one thing that I've gotten out of this is not going to work. I've been riding a lot more, and my skill set came back really quickly, because normally I only ride once a month on average. And riding once a month, half of the ride, you're just kind of getting back into the groove of things. So the fact that I've been able to ride like practically every other day, at least a little bit, a lot of things have changed for me. I've probably even improved on a lot of things because I don't have the bad habits of the younger, stupider me, and I have a little bit more control as an old man. I think my front end is riding a little bit high. So I have the 5.0 fork springs in now, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 clicks out. That feels a little bit better. Let's see if it settles into the corners better. Yeah, that made a difference. All right. Found the setting. Okay, tip number 1 for getting better at riding a dirt bike. Practice. Don't just go ride. If you want to just ride for fun, that's cool and everything. But if you want to get better, you actually have to practice. And so what I have here, you probably can't see the one in the distance because of the camera, but I have a couple of pin flags. You can go to any construction store and get these. And I'm just going to set up a figure 8 and work on left and right hand corners going around these pin flags. And I'm probably going to do that for 10 to 20 minutes. And if you do that, you learn how to corner really, really well. And you could set up a tight corner and then a wide corner, or 2 tight corners or 2 wide corners, or whatever. Mix and match. Do 5 minutes of tight, 5 minutes of wide, and yeah, you'll get good in no time. All right, so here I go. I'm gonna time my stuff with my Polar Vantage. And if you guys are wondering why I have mud grips on my bike, because I just saw my riding buddy and they happened to be in the back of his truck. So I grabbed them out of his truck from the last time we were riding in the mud. If you don't know what they are, they're just little foams that slide over your grips, and they make a lot of traction. It doesn't really give you any cushion, but it gives you lots of traction if you're in the mud and have wet hands. So here we go. Ready to rip. front end hit a big fat pine cone right there. I caught the same pine cone again. Damn it. Again. If you want to mellow out the bottom end on this bike, you can just get a 12-tooth KTM sprocket for the front, and it'll mellow out the torque off the bottom. Second map, it just makes it incredibly smooth. You basically can just pin it wide open out of corners, and it won't break traction. Not in a it doesn't have any power sort of way, but in a it's just very, very controlled sort of way. Map 3, it still has all that berm exploding, pop out of it power, but it makes it a lot more controllable. When you're about like 70% into it, you're less likely to just break the wheel loose and lose traction. So if you ride in slippery conditions, the 12-tooth sprocket that I put on the front here seems to work really good. I didn't get to check top speed. I'm sure that it's a little bit faster. I think I'm going to stick with it and ride it for a while, and then see how it is and switch back and see if I notice a big difference. But yeah, it's a cheap, upgrade or change if you want. A countershaft sprocket you can have for about 14 bucks. So just go order one and try it out for yourself. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.